So the question is, what is a real-world example of how strategic communication skills can be used for your benefit in your organization? Hi, I'm James Lauber, and welcome to this week's From the Desk. We're going to do something a little different this week because I was just being interviewed and I was asked what's a real-world example of how strategic communication skills can be used to benefit an organization. So I thought in my past, here's a story that actually demonstrates it very well. I was working with a production company. They imported very expensive raw materials, they transformed them, and then they shipped them out. Of course, that was their business. The problem was that the admin staff in the office who were collecting the inventory data so that they could, put it in the computer, manage purchasing or have the information available for purchasing, manage production planning, manage inventory control, etc. They had a real problem in getting accurate reporting data from the people on the shop floor. And the people on the shop floor were not very concerned about numbers. That was really the source of the problem. So we had an admin staff with a priority of collecting accurate data for the benefit of the company, who were increasingly over time aggravated with the shop floor staff who weren't really interested in numbers at all. They were interested in coming in, doing their production job, and then going and enjoying their evening. The problem was to the point where they had such poor data that they had to do quarterly physical inventories, which required most of the staff to come in for an entire weekend 4 times a year. It was, one, very expensive, and two, it was very problematic because you had to have, I think the lead time was somewhere between 6 and 12 weeks, depending on the product, coming in with the raw materials from overseas. All of that to say, the problem really was the fact that the shop floor staff had a different set of priorities than the admin staff, and the shop floor staff didn't see the bigger picture. So they asked me for some assistance. And the plan, to make it a long story short, came to be the admin staff had to understand that the shop floor staff had a different priority and we had to incentivize them. We took that to management. Management agreed. We came up with an incentivization program. And then we went out to the shop floor and said, look, if we can get accurate data for long enough that we can know we can rely on it, then we can convert this quarterly physical inventory program into a cycle counting program, and everybody will be much happier. We won't have as many mishaps with production planning. We'll have raw materials available when we need them, and everybody has a win-win-win. And that's exactly what happened. It took a couple of months to get everything in place and get everything running smoothly, but we stopped having to have quarterly physical inventories, which were very expensive. Management was very happy because they had better information to plan with. Production management was happy because they could plan better. Purchasing was happy because they knew what to purchase with enough lead time that everything wasn't a last-minute emergency. And the admin staff, who were very irritated with the production floor staff, found themselves to be team members with the production floor staff, and everybody was much, much, much happier with the final outcome. And that was an example of strategic communication skills being applied to solve a long-term problem, which prior to applying the solution was a complete impasse. It was a disaster all around for this particular company. Anyway, I thought that would be a great story to share as an example of how valuable strategic communication skills can be in any organization. And that's all we have for this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for joining us and thanks for watching. We'll see you again. Cheers.